Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. Blessed be the Lord my strength, which teacheth my hands to war, and my fingers to fight. Psalm 144, verse 1. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, and shaken together, and running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure that ye meet withal, it shall be measured to you again. Luke chapter 6, verse 38. Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers, in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12. For the Lord thy God is a merciful God. He will not forsake thee, neither destroy thee, nor forget the covenant of thy fathers, which he sware unto them. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 31. And the Lord said, Who then is that faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord shall make ruler over his household, to give them their portion of meat in due season? Luke chapter 12, verses 42 to 46. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which does so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. Hebrews chapter 12, verses 1 to 2. Return unto thy rest, O my soul, for the Lord hath dealt bountifully with thee. Psalm 116, verse 7. For his anger endureth but a moment, in his favor is life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Psalm 30, verse 5. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. Isaiah chapter 54, verse 17. He that soweth iniquity shall reap vanity, and the rod of his anger shall fail. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 8. Let every one of us please his neighbor for his good to edification. Romans chapter 15, verse 2. Notwithstanding, the Lord stood with me, and strengthened me, that by me the preaching might be fully known, and that all the Gentiles might hear, and I was delivered out of the mouth of the lion. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 17. He that hath knowledge spareth his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 27. Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to write unto you, and exhort you, that ye should earnestly contend for the faith, which was once delivered unto the saints. Jude chapter 1, verse 3. Charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 17. Be ye strong, therefore, and let not your hands be weak, for your work shall be rewarded. 2 Chronicles chapter 15, verse 7. He that walketh uprightly walketh surely, but he that perverteth his ways shall be known. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 9. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. Joel chapter 2, verse 32. Dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts, which war against the soul. 1 Peter chapter 2, Verse 11. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips. Psalm 141, verse 3. And whatsoever we ask, we receive of him, because we keep his commandments, and do those things that are pleasing in his sight. 1 John chapter 3, verse 22. All that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out. John chapter 6, verse 37. He shall feed his flock like a shepherd. He shall gather the lambs with his arm, and carry them in his bosom, and shall gently lead those that are with young. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 11. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. And killed the Prince of Life, whom God hath raised from the dead, whereof we are witnesses. Acts chapter 3, verse 15. For God hath not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Jesus Christ. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 9. For the mountains shall depart, and the hills be removed, but my kindness shall not depart from thee, neither shall the covenant of my peace be removed, saith the Lord that hath mercy on thee. Isaiah chapter 54, verse 10. But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. Isaiah chapter 53, verses 4 to 5. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 30. Being then made free from sin, ye became the servants of righteousness. Romans chapter 6, verse 18. But he giveth more grace. Wherefore he saith, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. James chapter 4, verse 6. But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6.